Wholeness, harmonious vibrations. I am Divine Lady Ninhursag, your favorite kitty cat, and I'm here today. Want to talk to you about something that's very, very important, something that is familiar to me, something that I'm not proud of, but I was in a space at that particular time and I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong, so to speak. I just want to say, and this is a conversation that we're going to have today, stop sleeping with other people's husbands. Yep, I said it. Stop sleeping with other people's husbands. Now, I'm going to get this out the way straight up from the get-go. This is not a bashing video of the women that sleep with other women husbands, and this is not a bashing video of the women, of the wives. This video is a video to say that this isn't a right or wrong, this isn't a fault. Women that sleep with other people's husbands, from my experience, are women that have issues with worth, with self-worth. And then women that stay with men that cheat with other women, they also have self-worth issues. So nobody needs to be getting on their soapbox about this video. Nobody needs to feel shamed or shunned about this video, because this is a video to help women understand what is at stake here. As a spiritual life coach, it is my job, it is my calling, it is my divine path to help women who were in a situation as I was in. And I'll just say that just a part of my story is I was born to an alcoholic and an abusive household. As a result of that, I became promiscuous as a teenager. I was a mother of 3 by the time I turned 21, and I was in an abusive relationship for 10 years of my adult life. Prior to any of those experiences, I'm not sure that I would have ended up sleeping or being in a relationship with a married man. But it happened, and I know it happened because I was having feelings of unworth. I was feeling ashamed. I was feeling lack. I was feeling like I was not worthy of having a husband, because I had prayed and asked for a husband many times. I was like, I want a husband. Oh my God, how can she get a husband? Why I can't get a husband? And the number one thing is, you never compare yourself to anyone, because comparison is self-violence. You don't compare yourself. And I know that now because I'm in a different space in my life. But you don't compare yourself. And then you also want to be clear when you're communicating with the universe, because the universe doesn't care. Everything is playing out. Whatever you ask for, the universe is going to give it to you. And in my ignorance, I just always kept saying, I want a husband. Dang, I want a husband. I want a husband. But did I really want a husband? When it's all broken down and said, it's not that I wanted a husband. I wanted security. I thought having a husband would make my life easier, that having a husband would help me to get things, have a better life for myself, for my children at the time. And it's not so, because you can't look for happiness outside yourself. That's the main thing. You cannot look for happiness outside yourself. Happiness begins within. You have to be secure within. You have to be secure with the goddess within you. And then things shall come to you in divine and perfect order. But going outside yourself, looking, whether it's a married man or not, whether it's a single man, no matter what, it's never going to come to you and be truly your experience and yours if it doesn't come from within. So I had that experience more than one time where I ended up in a relationship with a man that was married. uh, he wasn't truthful up the front. And maybe if he was truthful up the front, I still probably would have wanted to, because I was looking for fulfillment. I was looking for love. I was looking for something to replace that loneliness, that hole that I was feeling inside. And at that time, whatever time that he could spend with me was good enough for me at that moment, because it was more than what I had, because I still didn't love myself. I didn't know how to love myself enough to know that I did not need anyone else to fulfill my desires, you know. And now at this point in my life, I'm not married now. A lot of times people want to get on their high horse when they married. Now they married, and now they want to talk about sleeping with other men, and sleeping with women, sleeping with other people's husbands. Now they want to talk about that because now they feel like, oh, the shoe is on the other foot. I'm on the other side of the fence now, and I don't think it's right. No, this is not that video either. I don't have a husband. I don't want a husband. Because once you come into the understanding and the knowing that the joy comes from within, everything that you want to experience in this life is going to come from inside you. You don't necessarily need anybody else on the outside. Everyone else is sprinkles on top. I have said it before and I'll say it again. I love cake. I love cake so much, it's not even funny. I just really, really love cake. But I don't always have to have frosting on my cake. I can just have a regular old bundt cake with nothing. Sometimes I want glaze. Sometimes I want buttercream. Sometimes I might want some sprinkles. Everything else is sprinkles on top. Once you find out, once you rediscover that feeling in you, once you rediscover your soul and you start letting your soul shine through, everything else is sprinkles on top. And it's okay, because you're enough. You're enough. And I know my life experiences, the things that I have went through, and trust me, this is not blame on anyone, because when you get to a higher level of consciousness, you're of the understanding that these are experiences that you signed up for. So I'm of the experience that I signed up for, the parents I signed up for. I love my parents. Both of my parents have transitioned, and I love my parents. I love them for giving me life, and that was their job, and that's what they did. They offered me the experiences that I had. And my father was an alcoholic, and he was abusive. So I did see, he was a very happy man when he wasn't, even when he was drinking, but for some reason between him and my mom there was some kind of volatility, and it expressed itself in abuse, and then they end up getting divorced when I was around 7 years old. And for that time it was very unusual for a man to take custody of his children. So my mom did try to maintain, having these children, being a divorcee, trying to work, and it wasn't working out for her. So she did relinquish custody to my father. So then other events in my life happened, as far as, molestation with a trusted adult in the family. Also a family friend. Then later, a person that I did not know, but the person that I did know, when I communicated to them what had happened, they just kind of brushed it under the rug. So all these things lead up to feelings of unworthiness, feelings of guilt, feelings of shame, feelings of, well, dang, I'm trying to find love. I just want to be loved. But nobody ever taught you to love yourself from within, to love yourself inside, to that love comes from the inside. And I remember once I became pregnant at the age of 13, and then I had my son a month after I turned 14. It's like I lost love at that point too, because it seems like people were so mad at me, like so many relationships change, but nobody never thought to dig into the background and to try to ask me questions and to find out what happened, and what would cause me to want to have sex at that age. Could it have been because I was introduced to it slightly from some unwanted touching? Now it's a curiosity. No, nobody ever asked the question. They just want to be mad because they feel like they're a failure. Like somehow me being pregnant was their fault. And the only way to show that is to distance themselves from me and be mad at me or something to that effect. And that didn't help at all either. So when we're out and we're trying to condemn people, judge people for the life that they're living, and we think that, because we're not doing what they're doing, that somehow that makes us better, you're not better. Nobody's better than anybody. We're all children of the Most High God, and we all came here with the same thing, the same idea, to live out different realities that represent God. But we're all gods. We are all gods. So nobody's less than anybody. So that's why I say this is not a condemning video. But when we know better, we do better. So what we have to do, because we know better, is we have to start to dig deep. And we have to start to heal that inner child. We have to heal her so that she can know her self-worth and that she can have self-respect. Yeah, people say it all the time. I love myself. I have respect for myself. I don't do this and I don't do that. But I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, they doing something they're ashamed of behind the scenes. Because all this up front, goody two shoes, is a front to cover up what they really do behind the scenes. And I'm just saying that from a place, I'm coming from a place of, I was there and I know exactly what I'm talking about it because I did it. Now somebody might see this video and say, well, just because you did it don't mean somebody else is doing it because they sleep with other men. Trust and believe there's a reason why you would feel like you would be looking for love in a man that's probably lying to you, that has no respect for women because he has a wife and he trying to holler at you. He's probably not being truthful as to why he's cheating. It's always the other person's fault because you can't confirm it with the other person. You can't go to that wife and be like, oh yeah, well he told me blah, blah, blah. So is that what's going on with you? And even if it is an issue where they're not getting along and maybe, they need to sever that relationship because that's a covenant. That's a covenant that they signed in this life and in the spiritual world. They signed that covenant to be together, and if it's not working out, they need to go ahead and end that. So while he looking to fill up on somebody's hips, he need to go ahead and take care of his business. And you need to love yourself enough to say, you know what, I don't think this for me. Now, if he lied to you before you got in that relationship with him, and he didn't tell you he was married, which has happened to me also, once you find out that they married, you're supposed to cut that ass off. Straight up. That's just how it is. Did I do that? No, I didn't. You know why? Because I didn't know my self-worth. I did not. I was feeling unworthy. I had, this feeling like probably like, you know what, whatever. I don't even care at this point. I've already done the dirty deed, so to speak. So, okay, might as well continue. But it never ends up like you want it to end up. And if for whatever reason, if he does decide to leave his wife and be with you, okay, he's probably going to cheat on you too. I mean, let's just put the rubber where it meets the road. We're going to be truthful here. We're friends. We're family. You know what? I have a job to do. I came to this planet to help women and girls find their bliss and live their best life, realize their greatest version, and go out here and kick some ass and be the best boss bitches they can be. You know, I'm still a work in progress. I'm working on myself. But while I'm working on myself, I can still go ahead and lift my hand out and help somebody else up. And trust me when I tell you, this is not a bashing video, because I was there. I was there. And I kept wondering, God, why is it that I keep getting other people's husbands? Why can't I have somebody of my own? And he said, why do you need anybody? Straight up. Why do you need anybody? You don't need anything. You don't need anything at all. Now, your wants, that's another thing. You want to have a companion. You want to be in a relationship with somebody. You know, that's fine. Okay. And again, I'll say, I never sought any of this out. I didn't seek it out. It came to me because that's the vibration that I was vibrating on at the time. You know, whatever vibratory frequency that we're resonating on, that's what we're gonna get. And that's why I kept running into men that were married, you know. And I've been proposed to a couple of times, and I turned it down. I accepted one. I gave the ring back because I knew that that wasn't for me. I knew that that wasn't going to make me happy. And as bad as I wanted to be married, I really believe that that was the turning point. That was the point that my soul put me on notice. Okay, this what you want so bad. Do you really want it? Okay, let's see. Do you really want it? Are you willing to sell your soul, to sell who you are, to go off your divine path? Are you willing to do all of that just to say, I have a husband and I have some security? Are you willing to give all that, you know, give yourself up so that you can live in a big house, so that you can live somewhere where, you know, you don't have any worries? You not those kind of worries, not financial worries, not security worries. Are you willing to sell your soul for that? Or are you going to be your greatest version? And at that time, trust me, I wasn't even on the divine path. That I knew consciously at that time, I wasn't on the divine path. I was, you know, just not happy. And I'm pretty sure there are sisters out there that weren't happy, and just for the security aspect. We see it all the time when we look at TV, different movies. We see it all the time that women are making decisions to be in these relationships and they're not happy because of what they know they can get from that relationship, whether it's security, whether it is a class issue, like, you know, it would bump them up in class, you know, for the money, for the fame. So you have to make a decision. And at that point, I was willing to give it all up. You know, that one fateful day, I made the decision and I packed all my shit up, loaded it in my car, left the ring on the dresser with a note that said, we are not meant to be. And I was out. Deuces. So I just want to say that I'm not different from anybody. I'm not special. I just made a decision. And everything in your life that you're going to do is based on you making a decision. If you take one step, divine is going to take 5. All that 2 steps or what? No, the divine is going to put you in a position for your next step. The next step towards living your greatness. And you don't need anybody outside of yourself to make you happy, to make you feel fulfilled. Yeah, sometimes it's just about the sex, but you can self-cultivate yourself. And a lot of times you feel bad after the sex anyway. So really, was it worth it? Really? Ask yourself, was it worth it? Is it worth it? You know, I just want you to love yourself. There is nothing I'm getting out of this but fulfilling my desire, my path, my divine path, the reason why I came here, the reason why I went through all those experiences in my life, so that I can come to you at this moment, this very moment in time, which there is no time, if you want to get down to it. The reason that I'm here talking to you is because somebody out there need help. Somebody is looking for a way out, and they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it because they don't love themselves. They don't know how to love themselves. They're trying. They think they love themselves. They're trying to fulfill their love with alcohol, with drugs, with sex, with, selling themselves, with, whatever they choose to do in their life. They're using all these false feelings of love to fill those holes, those gaps that somehow maybe during their childhood or somewhere growing up, those holes became there because of things that may have happened to them. It doesn't always have to be about molestation. It could have just been that somebody, talked bad to you, never hugged you, never told them they loved you. I know plenty of people, I ain't gonna say plenty of people, but I know a few people right off the top of my head that their mom never told them they love them. Never said they love them. And that particular thing is probably coming from a place because somebody probably never told her that they loved her. Or she never really truly loved herself, so she didn't know how to express that. I know for me, when I had my children, I wanted because of all the things that I went through, I wanted my daughter to be tough. I wanted her to be able to handle anything that came her way. And at that point, I used to say, stop crying because crying is not going to help. But I did not know. It felt like it was easier for me to show love to my male children than my daughter. But that's because I didn't know how to love me. And now that I know how to love me, I love on her all the time. She is my baby. I love her so much. She's so beautiful. She's talented. She is like everything. When I think about her, it just makes me, brings tears to my eyes because our daughters are our future, and we have to start fixing ourselves so that these girls can come with the confidence and the knowing. When we fix us, it will show on the outside. It will manifest in our children, in our girls, in our boys. I'm not going to leave the boys out because I have 2 boys, and they're awesome and amazing too. They're great fathers, and they're trying to find their way too. We all have a covenant together to be in this soul family. But this is my message for today. Trust me, I love you with my whole soul, and this is not a beat up session for anybody. I'm here for you. This is my job. This is what I came to do. This is why God put me on this earth. This is why I went through all those experiences so that I can help someone else. And while I'm working on me, whatever I know, I'm going to pass it on to you so that you can lift yourself up. And then you can get out there and you can start talking to girls. And you can start, helping other women, helping boys if it's a guy watching this video. If you that husband that is cheating on your wife, lying to other women, I'm not mad at you either, because obviously there's something that you're looking for too. There is no blame. There is no fault here. That's the one thing people got to stop doing, because when you pointing fingers and you placing blame, that's judgment. And when you still in that frame of mind of judgment, you can't fix yourself when you judging. Stop judging. This is no wrong or no right situation. What this is when you know better, you do better. When you know better, you do better. God is going to always forgive us. He's going to always forgive us. God is not sitting up in the sky like, on his thrones like, you know what? Her ass, I keep telling her and she keep right on doing, or he keep right on doing, and now I'm going to put him on punishment. That's not how God works. You put yourself on punishment is what you really do. You put yourself on punishment because your ego, your conscience be eating you up. And so, because your conscience is eating you up and putting you in the frame of mind like, oh my God, I know ain't no good gonna come from this. Okay, you just put it out there that no good is gonna come from it. So that's why no good come from it. You know, that's why you keep being in situations that you're being in instead of raising yourself up. Raising yourself up with every experience. Every experience that you go through should elevate you higher and higher so you don't have to go through that experience anymore. That's what it's all about. That's why we're here. This is a school, and we supposed to be learning. And we supposed to be promoted to the next level of our soul's evolution. That's why you're here. I am Divine Lady Ninhursag, your favorite kitty cat, and we about to start keeping it real up in here. I love you with my whole soul, and I'll see you again.